Okay, I'm back again. This video is going to be maybe a couple sections of it, but anyway, it stopped pretty good at a good spot, so I'm taken back to where I came from, and I was starting to talk about my book, and then I'm telling you about my golf swing. That's my golf swing. And I put this together because I've been playing golf for about 60 years. And when I was young, I never had a lesson. I was a basketball player, and I went on to college. And there I came up with another idea and another coach from a different school, and I left the University of Utah, where I was recruited. They were third in the nation that year, so I wanted to play there, but that is in the book, so you'll read that part, so I'm not wanting to get into that part. But anyway, then after that I graduated, and I was a all-conference basketball player and an all-American golfer. Then went on to become a PGA Tour, and that's when I became a Class A, but I didn't start that way. I qualified in the first year they had a tour started, and you had to qualify for that. So that was a qualification to get a PGA Tour card. That was 1968. But what I want to show you here is doing it later on, about eight or 9 years later, I became a Class A card, and these are some pictures in here. And this is Byron Nelson. Okay? And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the growing or the evolving of the golf swing. And the second part here, what's really important for me, that's Ben Hogan. That's Ben Hogan. So back to my story here. I'll use this, and I'll get some pictures, and we'll talk about this. And I'm going to explain what I learned from Byron Nelson so I could figure out what Hogan was doing. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know this. And Mo doesn't, I'm talking about Mo Norman now. I'm going to be talking a lot about Mo Norman, but right now I'm talking about Ben Hogan. So anyway, it was a Hogan swing, and I'm going to talk about a lot of that. And that was a real mystery for me. Because when I grew up, as I said, I never had any lessons, and I qualified for the tour. And I'll show you quick things what happened when I get into the tour here. And this will be in the book, and I'm gonna teach something to you, what I call a common denominators of the golf swing for the great players. And I'm going to use three people. And one is Ben Hogan, number two is Lee Trevino, and then Mo Norman. And Mo is a whole different story, because all those years as I was studying and trying to figure out the golf swing, because I never had any lessons, I tried to figure out what Hogan was doing. Then I met Lee Trevino and what he did. And then we're going to talk about Mo Norman. So we're going to take some stuff over here. I'm not going to I'm not here to produce a video and a book and hire all types of people to put this thing together and take pictures and videos and that kind of stuff. This is going to be a home-based book and teaching. And I'm going to teach you right here about this book, and I'm going to go down to the basement and I'm going to hit some balls down there, and I'm going to teach you some things, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, what I'm going to do in the videos that are coming to come. Can you read this? Maybe you can't see it here. That was Lee Trevino. You see that? That back in the corner, this guy over here, that was me. It's a great story, I got to tell you. It's a pretty good story. So I qualified at the PGA Tour, 1968. My first tournament, I went to Hawaiian Open. There you had to qualify to get into that tournament, so I did. I had a Monday qualifier. I got into Hawaiian Open. So I started, and the first round, I shot 66 and 67. I was 11 under par, and I was leading the Hawaiian Open. Real story, now I'm not making this up. I just come out of college. I never had any lessons. I played a lot of golf in college, so I know the rules, and I know that kinds of stuff. So I'm 11 under par. Then we get around to the final round, and I'm in the final group, and I'm playing Lee Trevino. He just won the U.S. Open. At that time, I was, I'd lost one shot, so I was 11 under, now I was 10 under, but I'm still second place, and I'm only a shot behind Lee Trevino. So we're played together in the final group. And when we left down the fairway, he comes over to me and he says, "Hey, big boy, just watch me. I'm going to teach you how to do this." Well, a long story here that Trevino won the tournament. I came in about, I think it was around 5th or something like that. I was really close, but I had a double bogey on the 16th hole, and then he made a birdie, and then we were only separated by a shot, and then all of a sudden I was behind by 4, so I was out of it after that. But I became good friends with Trevino, because a couple months later, I was in a different tournament. I'm playing in Jacksonville, and I ended up playing with Trevino again. And so I ended up finishing the top 20 there. So I became really good friends with him, and we did a lot of talking and teaching. I won't tell the whole story now, but I played with Jerry Hurd in high school and in college. And Jerry Hurd and I became roommates. And down the road there, Jerry was a good player, but he had a big hook, and he had a fabulous short game, and he could hit it pretty far, but he just had the big hooks. So I introduced him to Mo, and Mo gave him a tip. Jerry went on and won 5 tournaments in about 3 years. Became one of the best players in the country from one tip from Trevino. Then he got hit by lightning, and by the way, Trevino was in the same group with him, and he got lightning too. But Jerry never played again after that. He tried to, but his back would never work that he wanted to. But I'm using this kind of a story here because what he told Jerry, it was something really special for him. And so, back to my story with no lessons, I've been studying this for years and years, and I've learned a lot of things. So I've learned a lot of things from Trevino, and I've learned a lot about Hogan. Now Hogan, the second part of the story, that's Hogan. And Hogan was a mystery. And I tried and tried and tried. And one of these kind of wannabe guys came by a couple years later and said he was a disciple of Ben, and I can show you what he did, and he can really help you. So Jerry got a great tip, and I said, well, I don't know anything about this stuff, but let's see what this guy has to say. Well, bad story here, because he taught me something that was totally incorrect, and he screwed my swing up. And after that, I just, a couple of years, it kept getting worse and worse, and then finally I lost my card back, in 1976. But I've always studied Hogan stuff. Well, I figured that out too. Why, what I was doing wrong. So now we're going to get number 3 here. Let's see here. Everybody's seen this probably. This is Mo Norman, and all his pictures in here. In 1995, I wanted to go down, because I was still trying to figure out the golf swing all this time for so long. Playing well and not so well. Look at my history. I won a lot of tournaments, and it's all in the book. But I went down to Mo, and he had an exhibition there, and I went down and talked to him. And I could tell you stories and stories about Mo. And I'll probably share a lot of them. But when Mo was done, I went over to him and thought he'd hit some balls. And I said, Mo, I said, I saw that. It was fabulous. I mean, you hit every shot just perfect every time. I've never seen anything like that. How did you do it? So, being Mo now, turns around, goes back to the where he's hitting balls, takes out a club, turns around, and he says, watch me, I'll show you. And boom, 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 away it goes. Now I'm going to give you a secret here. What did I learn from that day that changed my whole life about the golf swing? Think about it for a second. Why did it change my whole life? Watch me. Who said that? Trevino. Watch me, I'll show you how to do it. Mo says, watch me. I'm going to show you how to hit that ball. Hit a ball with a stick. And now he's got me. Okay, Mo, I'm in. So I ended up get involved with natural golf, and I became the instructor of instruction for natural golf, and I was there for 5 years, from 75 to 90. 2000. So what does my book says? Can you see it? Can you know it? See it and hear it and believe it. Trevino, see it? Mo, see it? Okay. I got to know Mo well enough. We had a pretty good relationship. We were pretty good friends. I can't say we were kumbaya thing. I mean, he's a very unusual person there, but I spent a lot of time and we got along very, very well. And after a while, I got to be able to understand his language. He speaks in riddles, and he's kind of like, it's almost, he's very unusual. He's kind of savant. He's got a whole different mindset. He got hurt when he was young, and he banged up his head, and they kind of hurt him somehow, and became whatever had happened. Something happened with his mind or whatever, but for him, golf was everything, and this world didn't matter. It was all about hitting the golf ball. And he speaks in riddles. So I'm kind of using, again, these metaphors between Jesus with the parables when he's telling stories about the kingdom of heaven and why I'm here, and, you know, I am who I am, that type of thing. Yeah. So when Mo, for instance, I'll just, one of his famous ones, this is, Mo, when they start that club, what do? Mo says, buckle, sit, slide, bump. Buckle, sit, slide, bump. What is that? Buckle, sit, slide, bump. Now here's another secret I'll give you that I don't think too many, I don't know if anybody ever knows this or not. But Mo, yeah, I should have the stuff in front of me so I can look at it. Can you see that right there? That's Mo. He signed it for me. And he went down to his car, and his you know, the hood, opened the hood, and he's got everything in there. And he gives me this and says, I don't give this to very many people, but I'm going to give you this. And then he says, me and Ben talk about this. He said, it's all about the belly button. The belly button. And that's all he said. He and him both know the belly button. Well, what the heck's the belly button? Well, buckle. Like a buckle. Oh. So you got a belly button, and you got the tailbone back here. And that is another secret in the golf swing right there. That whole golf swing is built on this belly button and this tailbone. Everything's connected. That goes to the spine, to the shoulders, and that forward, and down to the legs, and everything has to go together. It looks like it stopped again. Well, I guess it's still working. I'll stop it.